All right, Ted, thank you. The maker of OxyContin, Purdue Pharma, will be sentenced today by a federal judge. They are expected to be required to hand over $225 million to the Justice Department, clearing the way for the company to finalize settlements it faced surrounding the drug epidemic. Yesterday, a judge delayed the criminal sentencing of opioid drug maker Purdue Pharma in order to allow victims to attend the court proceedings in person.
Joining us this morning, our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes. Khalif, good morning. You look at something like as big as this. Let's talk about the timing of the sentencing happening, even though it's been postponed. We know it's happening here soon. Purdue Pharma pleaded guilty years ago, right? Yep. This was a huge deal. Why are they just now going through sentencing?
Well, because it's just like, and obviously I can speak on an extremely smaller scale. This affects millions of folks across the country. So you're talking about millions of families. But on a smaller scale, anytime there is a settlement, you want to ensure that the victims have some type of insight and input on how the settlement will be reached and negotiated and the final finalization of it. And so here, that's talking to, speaking with, getting agreement, getting buy-in from a number of individuals across the country, which is not an extremely easy thing to do. And it kind of touches on why what you mentioned, how the sentencing was supposed to take place and now it's getting postponed. You had these victims that were speaking via, Zoom or some type of video teleconference, and the judge said, okay, we'll postpone it and allow you to be in person. And I can explain why that's so important. Those victim impact statements, when we have them in homicide trials, they are, challenging to go through. They're probably the hardest thing that I have to do in my career, to sit there and listen to a family talk about the grieving process of their loved one. And so the judge, to their credit, is saying, look, I want you to come into the courtroom and have your opportunity to be heard. You see the protesters have been surrounding the courthouse holding signs, hey, let me have my say, let me have my moment. Those are most likely victims as well that have been connected to this scenario. And so what you want to do is give them their moment to do that. And I think this is probably the final step, that final last lap before we get to some true final settlement.
And you talked about the importance of victim impact statements. We've seen that in high-profile cases over and over again. But does that have any impact on the actual sentencing from a judge, or should it?
It can. I can say that it most certainly can. While there are sometimes when you walk into a settlement, there will be 99% of the negotiated portion will be done, but it still will, and I say this with every settlement that we talk about in any plea deal, that it's still up for the judge to accept the negotiated plea. The judge can ultimately reject it, they can accept it in whole, or they can do some deviation. Most of the time, their hands are tied from a deviation, and that's why we have things that are just like, okay, I won't accept it at all. I think if you're looking at one that's not an extreme case in terms of loss of life, but term of time frame, the NCAA settlement with the back payments, that took like 6 years before the judge was like, okay, actually, I'm ready to agree to this now, because you had to talk to a number of folks for them to buy in to that. And I think that's the same scenario that we're getting here.
So we're looking at the Sackler family, who owns the company, to pay up to $7 billion. How do you split that? How do you decide? Who decides what's fair, who gets what? I know states and other government entities get a big chunk of that.
It's going to be broken down with the states, and then it's how, not who gets it, but how will it be implemented. And so you're not going to be able to put a dollar amount on the loss of life per individual family. But what you can say is, look, we have this amount of folks in our state that have been affected by this. What can we do in terms of preventive nature and programs? Because that's part of what this settlement will be. The other portion, going back to Andy's question on why the delay took so long, part of it, the Sacklers were trying to keep a large portion of the money, and folks were like, well, you're only paying $7 billion, but you profited well over 10 to 20 billion. How come you're trying to now shield yourself from being able to not give the families in these other states some of those resources? And so that also added to the delay. But how do you divvy it up? Not easy. That's the best way I can say it. Obviously, portions go to the family, but the majority will be for recovery, for treatment, and for programs to prevent this in the future.
And we should note real quick that under the deal, the Sackler family is going to be shielded from lawsuits over opioids from those who agreed to payments. So a lot of little details in there. Khalif, thank you.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.